Hello. As a past life regression therapist, I'm seeing more clients these days than ever before who are very confused about their soul journey. So during a past life regression, they access their higher self and they're discovering their soul purpose. And because of that, they come to realize they've incarnated on Earth with a special mission. Now, this prompted me to do some research into this, which I'm sharing in this first video of a series that I'm going to be creating about the different types of souls coming onto Earth at the moment. And I'll also be sharing some case studies from my spiritual regression files. So what I've found is there's a strong connection between the history of human evolution on our planet and the astrological ages. Earth has been cycling through numerous astrological ages, and it's believed that when one cycle of the 12 astrological ages is completed, another cycle of 12 begins. Now, the length of one cycle of 12 ages is approximately 26,000 years. So we are currently transitioning from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. Now, Pisces represents religion, spirituality, prophecies, transcendence, drugs, illusions, imprisonment, and fear. And the age of Aquarius is just waiting in the wings and is creating a lot of chaos and confusion and a desperate desire with a lot of people for the new age to begin as soon as possible. Now, Carl Jung saw the birth of Christ as a herald of the age of Pisces. In fact, most of our ideas about the age of Pisces are linked to the symbolism of Christianity, with its emphasis on fish, fishermen, loaves, and fishes. Now, as we are aware, we're now on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius, which astrologers say parallels major changes in the development of Earth's inhabitants, and particularly relating to culture, society, and politics. Now, each astrological age brings in not only the energies of that sign, which then play upon the planet, but it also brings in a specific group of souls. Now, what this means is there are different soul groups, and each soul group is aligned or associated with a particular astrology sign. Now, the Piscean soul group have been incarnating on Earth to activate Piscean energies for quite a long time. And as the Aquarian age comes in, we have the Aquarian energies being incarnated as well onto the planet. So there are 3 waves of souls coming into incarnation. And the first wave, well, some people call them indigo souls. Now, the mission of the 3 waves is twofold. So one is to change the energy of the Earth so it can avoid a catastrophe. And the second is to help raise the energy of the people so they can raise their vibration and to ascend into the next dimensions. So the first few indigo souls began incarnating around the 1700s. Now, the Age of Enlightenment was an intellectual and a philosophical movement that occurred in Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries, and with global influences and effects. Now, the Age of Enlightenment included a range of ideas centered on the values of human happiness and the pursuit of knowledge, and obtained by means of reason It was also known as the era or the age of reason. So it's interesting how these ages affect people and are affecting us now on the planet. And, you know, the age of enlightenment, we've proceeded through that, through the scientific revolution and the work of Francis Bacon and Tesla. So many historians now date the end of the Enlightenment era as the start of the 19th century. Now, Franz Mesmer was a German physician who theorized the existence of a natural energy transference, which he called animal magnetism, and it's been referred to as mesmerism. Now, what most people won't know is that Mesmer is generally thought of as the grandfather, the great-grandfather of modern psychotherapy. So he changed a lot. And these special souls incarnated into the Piscean culture and civilization because they're carrying new ideas for change and energies that were very different to what was then the norm. So in a sense, these individuals seeded the Piscean culture with an Aquarian energy and attitudes that was preparing the way. So the first wave of indigo souls, well, they also helped to develop modern spirituality and spiritualism, which actually began in the 1840s in a small town in New York and quickly grew to become one of the greatest and most diverse spiritual movements of the 19th century. In 1875, some of these first souls began the New Age movement, and with the Theosophical Society, with the teachings of Helena Blavatsky. And later in the 1920s, the teachings of Alice Bailey. Now, she was known for creating the term New Age, and her books, which mostly focus on the subject of theosophy. Now, the term theosophy was derived from the Greek theos, God, and Sophia, wisdom, and is generally understood to mean divine wisdom. So Alice Bailey's writings and New Age views and philosophies have also affected the social and spiritual politics and impacted on politicians and various nations and the United Nations. Now, another person who has really influenced this Piscean age is Edgar Cayce, and he's another indigo soul who has helped shift spiritual paradigms. He was an American Christian Sunday school teacher and clairvoyant who connected to his higher self while he was in a trance-like state. And his words were recorded during the sessions. Now, Cayce would answer questions on a variety of subjects, and such as healing, reincarnation, the Akashic records, dreams, the afterlife, past lives, nutrition, Atlantis, and future events. Now, he founded a non-profit organization called the Association for Research and Enlightenment to record and facilitate the study of his channelings, and he ran a hospital. So Cayce's known as the sleeping prophet. Now, religious scholars and thinkers consider Cayce the founder and a principal source of many characteristic beliefs of the New Age movement. And he's also known as the father of holistic medicine. So the Aquarian soul groups have significant differences from the Piscean soul groups. They have different activities in their chakras, differences in psychology, thought, feeling, and behavior. Now, these souls have had a tougher job of breaking the ice and bringing in the first of the new energies. And they have ushered in the Industrial Revolution, electricity, scientific thought, and the new ideas of liberty and freedom. Now, the beginning of an age can bring conflict as well, and the new age surges forward with the enthusiasm of youth, and the old stubbornly resists and fights to keep its dominance. So we know this both within ourselves and on the larger stage of the collective issues. For example, the Aquarian souls that have been coming in since the early 1700s have been stimulating the third eye and activating our intelligence. And although it has had a great influence on scientific thinking and rational thoughts in the world today, the emotions of the Piscean period is very much present. Now, we all have such capabilities of intelligence and understanding, but we can also see the many ways that instinctual emotional reactiveness still runs inside of us, both individually and collectively, and can dominate our thinking patterns. So the age of Aquarian energies have, in a brief 100 years, changed our civilization into a scientific and information-based society, awakened in us the next step in the unfoldment of intelligence. Still, much of our psychology and many of our organizations and institutions are Piscean. Now, Aquarius is an air sign, and air is the element of the mind. So Aquarians work primarily through the third eye, the sixth chakra at the center of the forehead. Now, this chakra is connected to two levels of our intelligence, the analytical mind and the intuition. Now, the increased stimulation of the third eye through the incoming Aquarian energies is awakening in humanity a new level of mental activity, understanding, and intuition into the subtle worlds. So these first waves of indigo souls don't like the violence and the ugliness they find in this world. And often they want to return home, even though they have no idea, not consciously, where that might be. So emotions disturb and often paralyze them, and especially strong ones like anger and hate. So they can't handle being around people expressing themselves. And often they are used to peace and love because that was what they experienced where they came from. Now, the indigo souls are the wise old souls, and they bring supreme hope for better things on the planet. Many indigo souls have become healers. Now, often they work in the health and healing modalities. They're psychologists, shamans, naturopaths, chiropractors, hypnotherapists, spiritual advisors, spiritual mentors, and coaches. And they help people to reflect and to look more deeply at themselves. Now, as the Earth cycles into the Aquarian age, many of the indigo souls are passing over, and there's this second and third wave of souls that are now incarnating. Now, I believe I'm an indigo soul, part of the first wave. Since doing my research on this subject, this has helped me to understand myself much better as well. Now, I was born in 1950, which means I'm 72 now, and have always felt different growing up. I felt different to my family. I felt different to the society that I grew up in. Now, Aquarius rules brotherhood, freedom, equality, humanism, social and scientific advance. And have we not already started that in the last 100 to 200 years? The overlapping of the ages that I've spoken about. We are still making baby steps in that direction, but we sure are on the ascending path of consciousness or energy, the energy age, as they call it. So as a past life regression therapist, I have specialized for 20 years in helping people release limiting beliefs and blocks that have prevented them from understanding who they are as a soul and their soul purpose. And my work is very rewarding. And I've seen many clients for past life regression sessions who came to realize that they are a soul of the second and the third waves. And in fact, like I said, I'm seeing this more and more now. There's absolutely a pattern. And these are known as rainbows, crystals, star seeds, and light workers. Now, these souls are very, very special. And this awareness helps them to accept their soul's plan or mission in this life. And it is to help with this paradigm shift. Now, many have been trained in different healing modalities to help. However, we created our training courses, Soul Regression Therapy, for this purpose, to teach the second and third wave of souls how to help people to heal. So if you would like to help with this paradigm shift, then maybe you would like to check out our website. It's simple, it's just hypnotherapylearninghub.com. And on there you'll find all our online courses. So thank you for watching. But before you go, could you please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel? And if you're watching here on TikTok, could you please just jump over to my YouTube channel? It's called Lorna Jackson Hypnotherapist. And if you could subscribe, that would really help me so that I can share my message to more people. Thanks for watching.